And you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
A Royale with cheese? Hello and welcome to this episode of Game On Girl, the podcast where we talk about gender and game culture. I'm your host, Regina McMenemy.
And I'm your co-host, Rhonda Oglesby.
This is our second video podcast, so we'll be doing a show and tell of our favorite Geek t-shirts.
And we'll talk about the television network's season finales, cancellations, and coming soon.
So stay tuned, and we're glad you're listening to Game On Girl. All right, let's get started with our favorite geeky t-shirts. Rhonda, what do you got for your favorite geeky t-shirt today?
Well, it was really hard. And
yeah, I know. It's hard to pick one, right? There's so many.
I went through the drawer and I laid out 4. And I picked this one because it was the most personal. I think that's the way it comes out. So hope you guys can see that.
Hold it up a little higher. There you go.
Got it?
Very nice. Yes.
Yes.
I know what that's from.
Yeah, that's from my Zombies Run app on my phone. The application that has a story that allows you has a running program on it, and you actually play the character Runner 5. And I think that's the reason why it's my favorite T-shirt, because that's me. I am Runner 5.
You are Runner 5.
I'm a self-player, and it is the most personal and the most identifying to me because that T-shirt's about me.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I love that's a good reason to choose it.
Yeah.
And, what about you are Runner 5 and everybody is Runner 5. So we are all really Runner 5, right?
Yeah. And what about you, Regina? What have you got?
I picked a one that's personal to me too, because it's one of my favorite female heroes that we've talked about.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
You haven't seen this? Oh, I guess I didn't take it to PAX last year. So it's I Heart Buffy. And the heart has a stake through the middle of it. And it also has all this, cool design on
detail.
it. Yeah. And it's just always been one of my favorite t-shirts. I love wearing it at cons because it's a good conversation piece. People will start talking to you, either if they're Buffy fans or not Buffy fans. You'll hear about it when you have a Buffy t-shirt on, especially one that has that big heart with a stake through it.
Yeah.
Really get some great attention. So that's one of my favorite geeky t-shirts. I debated several as well. I have a couple others I thought about. We might need to revisit this.
Yeah.
This is our geeky topic.
We'll have to pick a different theme, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
But we've got the number one out of the way.
Yes, exactly. So I picked our favorites. And we'd love to hear from our listeners, too, and our viewers. If you guys would like to show us your favorite geeky t-shirts, we'd love to see them. That would be fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about the end of the TV season, essentially, right? Because it's May, so we're coming to the end of the current year's seasons, and we've got some seasons wrapping up of some of our favorite shows. One of, at least I think mine and Rhonda's favorite show ended this season. And then we have some cancellations coming up and some new shows for the fall to look forward to. So we're going to talk about that whole kind of TV grab bag today.
Yeah, and I put one on the list that the finale is actually tonight, which I did not realize.
Yes,
I thought that last week was the finale.
Yeah, I looked it up and I was like, wait, there's one more show.
Yeah, I ran across it by accident today and I was like, what? We're talking about the Big Bang Theory, actually.
Yes.
And I actually thought it was kind of weak for a finale. So I'm kind of glad.
You're like, this is where you're leaving us? What's with that?
Yeah, and I think it's because Leonard proposed to Penny, or Penny proposed to Leonard. It's gone back and forth.
Right.
That's a whole lot of times that's a finale.
Right.
So I thought it was the finale, but I hadn't even looked to see a preview of what tonight's going to be about. So
I think because I read the description because I had to look it up because I wasn't sure if it had been the finale or not, and I looked it up and I read something about it's essentially Sheldon dealing with the decisions that are being made.
Oh, okay.
Because there's change. Because essentially what that episode set us up for is a lot of change to come, and we know how Sheldon does with change.
Just Sheldon doesn't do change. Wow. So we
So,
may have to revisit that later. But
yeah.
I
Yeah.
know the one that you really, really have been wanting to talk to me about because it took me so long to see the finale was,
How I Met Your Mother.
yes.
So, what did you think?
I was really conflicted. What did you think?
I liked it. I know I'm in the minority with that. I know a lot of people were really kind of up in arms, and I guess I should have put this earlier, but we will be spoiling some episodes here. Sorry if you didn't know what happened on the last episode of Big Bang Theory. But yeah, so in the end, we essentially in the last show of How I Met Your Mother, we find out that the mother that we've been waiting, is it 8 or 9 seasons to meet?
Hmm.
Dies at the end, right?
Yes.
And that he's really telling this story because he wants his kids to give him the approval to get back together with Robin.
Yes.
So it made sense to me as a
Hmm.
story that he would have spent so much time telling a story about how he met the mom when he was really talking about Robin. So
I
yeah,
think it was a win-win
yeah.
because nobody was going to be happy.
Well, yeah. That's a good observation, actually.
Yeah, they brought in the hints constantly of this other
Mhm.
woman that was
Right,
never in any of these stories.
right,
And so you had to reveal that.
right, right. They
And then
had
they
to build into
did,
it.
but then you did I thought they did a good job of
Hmm.
bringing her into the fold,
I
but
agree.
not 7 years worth.
Right, right.
She fit really well. I think they did a great job with that.
They did a great job writing her into a
Hmm.
very established group of characters, which is a feat in and of itself. And that
Rough.
was great. I have other issues with the whole last season of How I Met Your Mother. Mostly that they spent the whole time at that inn and not at
Mhm.
the bar, which was kind of my analogy for that. It was like trying to see the show finale of Cheers take place when they all like went away on a weekend together.
Yeah.
Like that whole show took place in the bar. You don't take it from the bar and put it in an inn in the last season.
Yeah.
So I didn't really appreciate that as much, but I really loved the writing around the mother. I thought they did an excellent job with it. And there was
It
some like the
was.
100th episode, or 200th, maybe, I don't know. I think maybe it was 200. The one where they first introduced the mom.
Hmm.
I got all kinds of teary-eyed on that one, like all kinds.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah,
But I think to me it made more sense because I'm going blank. Ted spent so much time obsessing about Robin.
right,
Number one. Number two, Robin and Barney and anyone was never going to work
right.
ever. And so the way all of that played out, actually, it made sense
Mm-hmm.
without deviating from, I
The
feel like,
character.
the entire nature of the show.
Right, right,
The lightheartedness and the friendships and all of that. It was a
right.
tough one. It was
Mm-hmm.
tough, but I think they did a good job. It
I
was
thought
well
they did
crafted.
too. I loved the Barney finale, the falling in love with his daughter and becoming a
Yeah.
dad. I mean, that was just some of the most touching TV I think I've seen.
That was the only thing that was going to ever affect his life.
Yeah, yeah. The only way he was ever really going to change was if that
Hmm.
happened, and he was so steadfastly against it. It's kind of nice that that's how the story ended for him. Because
Yeah.
we really needed to see a transformation. I enjoyed Barney's character, but he did get stale after a while.
Yeah.
He's a little Sheldon-like in that, lack of depth in the
Hmm.
character. And so I was glad to see him kind of go through a transformation and a change. So.
Well, I don't think that we've got too many. Do you have any other season finales that you want to bring up?
No, I'm behind. I want to talk about eventually about Once Upon a Time because apparently the ending
Okay.
was really fantastic, but I haven't seen it
Oh,
yet, so I can't actually talk about it. I've got 3 episodes behind on that show, so no spoilers from you listeners.
yeah. I saw a headline somewhere that did not indicate that it was super fantastic,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, we'll have to revisit it. But the only one I want to mention is Last Man Standing, and the main reason I want to mention it is because it got renewed, and
Hmm.
I'm thrilled. Because if nobody's tuning in to Last Man Standing, It is an extremely well written show. And this time around, if you're familiar with Tim Allen with his Toolman show, where he had three sons, with this one, he has three daughters. And they bring up women's issues a lot. And he sort of has, in a way, he doesn't have a misogynistic viewpoint. It's sort of like he continues to not understand the girly girl thing, and he's very, very macho, and he's got a tomboy for a daughter. But at the same time, they teach him a lot. And so there's a lot of pull and tug in the show. And in this last episode, his youngest daughter is in ROTC. It's the daughter he identifies with the most because she does sports, she does hunting, and all of that stuff. And she's in ROTC. And she's going to go to the prom with an ROTC boy. And he has ordered her, or basically told her, to wear a dress, not her dress uniform. And it really makes her angry. She's like, I have a dress uniform. I'm in ROTC. He's wearing his. Why can't I wear mine?
Right. Why is there a double standard here?
Exactly. And I think that the way that they had it turn out was really empowering for her. And that's the kind of theme that I'm constantly happy that keeps coming up on the show. They also, to me, are very even. It's one of the few shows where you see multiple sides being discussed. The only complaint I have about the show is I don't think the mother, as a female character, is treated very well. She's extremely shallow, and not as a personality, but the character's very shallow and doesn't get enough credit and respect. The daughters do, though. But I was impressed. I'm glad it got renewed.
That's good. Yeah. We talked about an episode of that show a long time ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. It was about an architect or a designer of some kind, female designer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've talked about that before. And I started watching it on your recommendation, although I didn't keep up the thread and I didn't keep up with this season. So hopefully I'll get a chance to catch up on it on Netflix or something like that. So
yeah. It's interesting. I mean, it's charged. I can say that. It's charged with hot topics.
Yeah. So we have some cancellations to talk about, right? Some shows that are not coming back.
Yeah. I thought maybe we could just run through these and then just hit the highlights of the ones that were like, what? Or thank God, or whatever,
Right, yeah. There's a couple that I'm not sorry to see go. One that I watched because you were like, you should check this out. Because it was horrible. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so ABC has The Assets. It's canceled. I haven't watched it. Back in the Game.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I think they had some good actors, and James Caan is one of my all-time favorites, and the female actress from Psych, but I just don't think that the network was invested in it.
Yeah, well, if they don't put the money in the writing, that's what happens. No. Betrayal. I started watching Betrayal when it launched, but I only got maybe 3 episodes in, and I just got bored with the whole melodrama of it. So, not sorry to see that one go. Killer Women.
I never got into it.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
either.
Sad to say.
Lucky 7.
I don't know.
No. Mind Games.
I watched that. I'm very sad that they got rid of it. And that's another one I feel like that they didn't invest in.
Yeah.
That's the one with Steve Zahn. Is that right?
I don't know.
I know the listeners will correct me. And Christian Slater.
Oh, right. Yes.
Very, very smart show. And I think it was well written. It was very complex. And I like seeing a show about a character that was bipolar.
Yeah.
And having to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I got the feeling the network wasn't behind it. And I'm sorry to see it go.
Yeah, that's too bad. Mixology.
Oh.
Yeah. The Neighbors.
I was sorry to see it go. It was very smartly written. They constantly got rid of the curtain They were always talking to the audience. And in fact,
Oh.
during the last season, I think they were already knowing they were getting hints, they were getting canceled. And so more often than not, in either their opening credits or in their final scenes, they would say, well, hopefully we'll be back next week for 30 more minutes. And I thought it was hilarious.
So they were playing off that. That's kind of cool. I like that.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to see it go.
Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. I'm actually kind of a little peeved with this because I didn't realize until maybe 2 weeks ago that it was a separate show.
Oh.
That people were tweeting about it. I thought it was a game, and it was on my list of things to go back to and check out because I thought it was a game that linked with Once Upon a Time, but I didn't know it was a separate show. And so I kind of think they did themselves a disservice if, I completely missed the fact that it was another show. And I'm sure that probably had, I'm probably not the only person that had a similar experience of that with the same basic title. So
confusion.
Yeah, exactly. What about Suburgatory?
It was time for it to go. They gave up on it. I think the writing, they destroyed themselves. I think they were trying to tank it. The last episode that I saw, the lead character lost absolutely all of her charm, and I never wanted to see it again.
Oh, wow. So. I kept up with about half of the season. I was upset because one of the reasons why I started watching it was because Alan Tudyk was in it. Mm-hmm. And then he wasn't in like the first, I don't know.
Oh, they brought him back, but they brought him back too late.
Yeah, it was just, he was gone. And so I was like, there's, I like Jeremy Sisto too. He was on 6 Feet Under, and I loved his character in that. So I was kind of sad to see that go for him, but.
Yeah, they messed it up. I don't know why that they screwed it all up, but they did.
Yeah, well, sometimes that just happens, I guess. Super Fun Night.
I didn't really watch it. I just don't think it was a network television show. Mm-hmm. I think the actress is she's a great comedian, but I have a feeling she should be on cable.
Yeah.
She's too restrained on network TV.
Network, yeah. Interesting. And what about Trophy Wife?
There wasn't much there to latch onto, but there are a couple of actors in that show that really, really deserve a hit series. They're exceptional actors. And I meant to look the guy's name up, and I'm sorry that I didn't. He did, it wasn't Sunset Boulevard, but he's done several series, and he's brilliant. And I was sorry actually to see him in Trophy Wife because he's better than Trophy Wife. So,
yeah, and so those are the cancellations for ABC.
Yeah, CBS cancellations. Bad Teacher.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
No surprise.
Yeah.
The Crazy Ones.
That was the one with Robin Williams.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it, but it wasn't available on any streaming, so.
Yeah, it was
Sorry,
good.
CBS. You tend to do that to your shows.
I don't think they should have canceled it. I think it's a big mistake on their part.
To cancel The Crazy Ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they had their stride. It was obvious the cast had chemistry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a mistake.
That's too bad.
Friends with Better Lives. Very short life.
Yeah.
Very short life. Hostages. I mean, how long is a show going to be on the air where a family is a hostage?
Well, each season you can have a different family taken hostage.
I guess. It didn't make any sense. Intelligence, not surprised.
I'm trying to remember what Intelligence was. Is that, who was in that? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, it was the bad boy Sawyer from Lost.
That's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was one that I meant to watch that I never got around to watching.
It had some good actors in it as well, but I just don't think that they didn't promote it enough, and it was somewhat sci-fi, but I think he had some weak characters around him, and just not enough going
didn't work.
For it.
Yeah.
We Are Men. The only reason I'm sad that's gone is because Tony Shalhoub was in it, and Tony Shalhoub is brilliant.
Yeah.
But that that show was, the rest of the cast, I think, was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good idea. It was a good idea for a show.
Yeah. Well, NBC cancellations are Believe, which I don't know anything about either. Crisis.
It's that little girl with supernatural.
Oh, okay, right. I've seen the commercials for it. Crisis.
No idea.
Community.
A lot of people upset about that, but
yeah, that was one of those shows that I've watched here and there, and I've always really enjoyed it when I did watch it. So I'm kind of
wasn't it on life support once or twice anyway, though?
Yeah, this is about it had been threatened to be canceled, I think, last year as well. So
yeah,
Dracula.
I watched the first episode and I was like, seriously, you haven't got anything new to do about Dracula? You're promoting a show about Dracula with all the same tropes forever and ever and ever in the last 200 years.
Yeah, well, vampires are hot, so they try to capitalize on them while they can. Although I guess vampires are probably on the way out. Maybe we'll see. Maybe this is an indication of that. Growing Up Fisher.
Big mistake. That was smart, funny. Lead actor was fantastic. Had a great couple of kid actors in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one could have been a really long haul for NBC for a new form of family. Fisher is the family name, and the dad is blind. And it's his story. It's a story of him and his family and raising his two kids, and he's a lawyer.
Cool. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Ironside.
Yeah, I think they showed a couple of episodes and then took it off.
Yeah. The Michael J. Fox show
was just painful to watch. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, I saw some previews for it and I was like, no, sorry. That's just sad.
It had, I think we mentioned it before, it had way too many characters. I mean, every time
to keep track of,
Michael J. Fox went on the screen, there were some more people showing up, and it was like, I don't think he needs that many people around.
Right, yeah. A little
too much to hold
distraction.
Together.
Yeah. Revolution.
Nah, I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch that either. Sean Saves the World.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Bad writing. Very bad writing.
And Welcome to the Family.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was. Did you see any of it?
No.
It was. I couldn't even believe that. I mean, I saw the trailer and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Someone is putting money into this and putting on. Oh, it was awful. It was offensive. Everything.
It hit everything bad.
Everything. Okay, quickly. Fox. Surprise, surprise. Dad's canceled.
Awful show.
Really horrible.
Horrible. The worst part about that show for me is that I watched it on Hulu. And so now it's in my list of shows you watch. And I'm like, I don't watch that. But there's no way to edit it out because I watched a couple of episodes just to see how bad it was. And I can't get it out of my shows you watch list.
Can you not rate it?
I didn't rate it.
Yeah, you should rate it like a 0 or something.
Maybe I should. Yeah, if I go in and do that, maybe I'll get rid of it because I'm like, go away. I don't even want to be reminded that you were on TV.
No, that was a
waste of time on this. Yeah.
In the listed, it was funny. Had some great actors on it, but I'm not quite sure why it fell apart. It was on very skinny legs anyway,
right?
Because it was just a kind of.
Yeah.
Raising Hope, sad.
Yeah, I like that one.
I think that's one I feel like the network stopped getting behind because I still think it had some life in it. Boy, those actors were just brilliant. They're funny and personable and likable, and the writing was great. And just sad to see it go, but they went out with a bang.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
Rake. Did you see any of it?
No.
It was horrible. Surviving Jack. Sorry, that one's gone. It's another one that I think was going to have some real legs to it. It's really funny. The main police guy from Law and Order SVU.
Okay.
Dark hair, real dark hair, big guy. He goes from Law and Order to a comedy, and I thought he was hilarious. It was great. He plays this super duper macho guy that's a dad raising a boy and a girl, and his wife is this little bitty, tiny little thing, and she's just a spitfire. And it's a balance between the two of them and how he raises his kid. I thought it was
Oh,
funny.
cool.
Sorry to
Well,
see it
that's
go.
too bad. That's too bad.
And the X Factor, as far as I'm concerned, the more reality shows you get rid of, the better.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the X Factor. Actually watched the last season of it all the way through, as a guilty pleasure. I tend to watch these reality shows when I'm grading papers sometimes.
I can see
To-
how that would help, actually.
It gives a little perspective sometimes. A little. Well, what's great about it is that there's so much filler in
Oh,
reality shows. You know, all you really watch the X Factor for is to see people sing,
mhm.
but they have all this other stuff and these like embedded commercials, you know, for makeup and hair products and all this stuff that that they do. And so I could just kind of tune out when those were on and just watch when it was the stuff I actually wanted to see when they were singing. So
Yeah,
it did at least
that's
have
perfect.
that. But but I'm not really sorry to see it go because I could always check out The Voice or 100 other shows
Yeah.
of similar. So
So now we've got that just this week, in the past 2 or 3 days. In fact, today CBS just put out some of their new
some
shows.
of their new shows.
Because I was looking at them yesterday and they had nothing, not a peep. And then all of a sudden today, a few popped their heads up. But there's some new shows coming.
Yeah. So ABC has quite a few here. Um, Agent Carter, it's a sci-fi show.
Yeah, Agent Carter from Captain America.
Oh,
Yes, Marvel's Agent Carter. That's the most exciting one that everybody's talking about.
awesome.
And it has the same actress. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, actress. I forgot your name, but nobody
Blanking on her
else
name.
will. Yeah. She's
Someone will remind
beautiful.
us.
She's wonderful. And it'll be set in the 1940s.
Nice. Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yep.
It's nice to see Marvel getting so much traffic right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I always go through to see what the balance is between kind of sci fi fantasy shows versus your traditional,
Yeah,
cop and medical shows. I like to
right.
see.
The things that people are used to seeing. Yeah. American Crime.
It's a crime thriller, and that's where our Timothy Hutton went from Leverage.
Oh, okay. I
Yep.
love
So he's
Timothy
going to a
Hutton.
very serious drama. Very
Interesting.
serious.
Interesting to go from Leverage to that. That'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see. I'm sure he can carry it off.
Oh yeah.
A reality show, Bet on Your Baby.
Just keep moving. People bring their babies on a reality show
Oh, to try to win money.
to win money.
Medical show, Black Box.
That is a female version of House.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Bones as well.
No, because the
It's just
doctor,
doctor, but yeah.
the doctor is highly dysfunctional and brilliant.
Interesting.
I think that Bones is a more likable character. These people, I think, are supposed to be like bad people on the opposite side of their
Oh, so
profession.
that anti-hero of some sort.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Um, Blackish, a comedy.
yeah. This is going to be interesting. It is about a very successful suburban black family.
Hmm.
And it looks like to me, now this is just the caption. It looks like to me it's a family that is extremely successful, extremely modern, and the father gets it in his head from some teasing that they are not black anymore.
Oh, okay.
So they're not black enough. They don't listen to the right music. They don't say the right things. They don't talk the right way. They don't watch the right TV shows. It will be interesting. If this is written well, it could be hilarious and groundbreaking. If it's written badly, it will have one episode
The
because it teeters
premise
on
itself.
it teeters on, black people should act like white people.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's what it's about. I think they're
Yeah.
smarter than that. And so I'm really thinking this is one of those that you have to watch it to get it.
Yeah, it sounds a little like send up of the Cosby Show,
Mm,
like taking that basic premise and
yeah.
kind of twisting it around a little bit.
Yeah,
So
because the
that'd be
dad
interesting.
seems to be the only one who is having an identity crisis.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Interesting.
it'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Let's see.
Christella,
Christella,
it's
a comedy.
it is a I don't want to say this wrong because I read an article recently about a Hispanic. It's a Hispanic family. It's a Hispanic comedy about a Hispanic family. I want to be careful. Latino is not the same as Hispanic. Got to be careful about mixing those. It's a Hispanic family. Sorry.
Yeah, they're different,
Anyway,
definitely different
yeah.
definitions. Yeah.
And I think that historically, whether it's Latino or Hispanic, those shows never do well. And I was thinking when this one came up, I was trying to come up with a theory. And I'm thinking partly it's because I'm wondering if because they don't do it like the Cosby Show. The
Oh,
show is not about being black, it's about being a modern family.
hmm.
The Hispanic shows tend to be about being Mexican or being Spanish or being Latino or what.
So focus more on the cultural
Yeah. And
aspect rather than the drama.
I think you just are your culture. If you have a Hispanic household and you have Hispanic traditions, you just do those. I don't think you have to say, well, because I am a Latino, then I am going to do this. It's like, and that's my
With a
bad.
really bad French accent.
Oh, that was Italian. It was really bad.
It was? Oh, because it sounded a little like Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, it was really bad. So we'll see. But to me, it looks like a show about being Hispanic, and
Right.
I think that's missing the point.
Yeah.
Forever could be interesting. It's a doctor. I don't know what his doctorate is in. I don't think it's necessarily biology. It could be criminology or whatever. But he is immortal, and he doesn't know why.
Oh,
And they go around solving crimes with the police officer while he's trying to figure out why he's immortal.
right. Interesting. Fresh off the boat. It's then.
Yeah, I read the description of this one
Hmm.
and didn't like it. And then I watched the preview. This is hilarious.
Okay.
The lead female, Constance Wu,
Hmm.
hysterical. She has amazing comic timing. I'm very, very excited about watching this because they just seem fresh, and she's a breath of fresh air. I'm excited.
Cool. Gallivant, a fantasy genre.
Yeah, this is either going to
So
be
it's going to be a musical.
yeah, this is either going to be really, really big, or it's going to fall
Or
flat
it's
on its
going to bomb.
face.
Yeah, it's from its description, it reads like Once Upon a Time meets Glee.
Yes, very
So,
good.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if that works. How to Get Away with Murder?
It's a crime drama.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I can take or leave those most of the time.
yeah.
Manhattan Love Story.
It's just a romantic comedy, except the audience gets to hear the male and female characters who are dating, gets to hear all of their thoughts while they're dating. They talk out loud.
Interesting.
I don't know.
That could be problematic. Another reality show, Rising Star.
Yeah, it's a singing show.
Uh-huh. Probably
Audience
to take the
votes.
place of X Factor.
I guess.
Secrets and Lies.
Crime drama. Murder happens in a small town, and then all their secrets are revealed.
Oh, of
It's a
course.
very uninteresting Twin Peaks.
Oh. All right. Selfie. This is one that I'm interested in seeing and looking at. because it's sort of doing a send up of social media.
Yeah, and I watched the trailer and I was very, very interested in it, but everything I've seen online since it came out is how awful it is, how misogynistic it is, it's sexist, and I was like, this is hilarious. What's
Hmm.
the problem? And it's got Karen Gillian in it, straight from Doctor Who.
Mm.
So I'm not sure what everybody's problem is. I might go back and read the articles, but I'd rather just kind of let the show stand for itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, should be interesting to see. The Astronaut Wives Club.
This is going to be a one-time 10-episode series based off the actual accounts of wives of astronauts.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And The Whisperers, sci-fi. Aliens have invaded Earth.
Yeah, it's going to be a sci-fi thriller. The aliens are talking to only children.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really creepy.
that'll be creepy, and I probably won't watch it.
Yeah. CBS finally they came out with a short listing, and they are heavy on the crime dramas. This one I did not hear about. I didn't know CSI Cyber, and this is all about crimes on the dark web. Have you ever heard that term before?
I have not.
No, me either.
Okay.
I think they made it up.
Probably.
But
That'll become a thing, though, because they made it up.
yeah, but I cannot wait to see lab geeks carrying guns and wrestling criminals to the ground, like CSI people do not do. They are not police, but they tend to do an awful lot of police work.
Yeah.
Madam Secretary is a drama about a woman who's Secretary of State. The McCarthys. Potentially could be funny, but I'm afraid that they're kind of taking the wrong spin on it. The McCarthys are a Boston-based family, very, very tight family, very sports-oriented to any team coming out of Boston. And they have one, I think he's supposed to be the younger son, I'm not sure, who's gay, who does not care anything about sports, and kind of makes the rest of his family look Neanderthal in some ways. And I just think the stereotypes are a little unfair.
Yeah.
I mean, the gay guy has to not be into sports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. Well,
anyway.
Tropes, stereotypes, like you said.
They had good comic timing. I mean, it could be the next Archie Bunker. Who knows?
Yeah.
NCIS New Orleans. The only reason is Scott Bakula. And
he's always worth a look, at least.
Yeah. Scorpion is it's a crime drama, and it's all about geeks. They're all super geniuses in their own fields, and they have been in trouble a lot for their geekiness, hacking and stealing and whatnot. When Homeland Security gets hold of them and wants them to help them solve crimes. And Patrick Stewart.
That's one of the...
Patrick Stewart, right, from Terminator 2?
Patrick Stewart is from Next Generation.
No, not him.
Captain Picard. Robert Patrick, you're thinking of.
Thank you. I knew that was wrong.
Yeah, I knew somebody for once.
Robert
You're
Patrick.
usually the one who knows all the names of people.
Very excited because I think Robert Patrick is awesome, and I like to see him in something.
Yeah.
So we'll see how much he's got. And Stalker looks interesting. It's a crime drama about a very specialized team that deals in finding stalkers. And that includes individuals as well as celebrity and politician stalkers and stuff. So
cool. Well, let's for the last couple networks, let's just go through the science fiction and ones that we might be a little bit more interested in instead of all of them. Looks like we have a prequel called Gotham.
Yep.
I bet you're looking forward to that, maybe.
I am actually. I like the idea of telling the story of Commissioner Gordon before he was commissioner. I like that.
Oh, it'll be interesting to see his backstory. Grace Point with David Tennant.
Yeah, that's supposed to be an extremely good crime show.
Okay, okay.
It's based off of a BBC version that was done.
Cool. And we have Hieroglyph, which you have described as Game of Thrones for network TV.
Yeah, yeah. There's apparently a lot of sex, a lot of killing, and a lot of fighting.
But not as many boobs as you see in Game of Thrones on
or
HBO.
network television.
Yeah.
But it's set in ancient Egypt, so
yeah,
it looks disappointing.
That's interesting. Yeah, yeah. And what about Wayward Pines?
This is very interesting. It's a very creepy kind of thriller. Matt Dillon is a special agent, FBI special agent, and he's in a car accident, and he ends up in Wayward Pines, where he's supposed to be looking for some other agents who have disappeared, and the townspeople are just really, really creepy. And everybody keeps telling him, you don't want to leave, you'll love it here, this place is perfect. And he does finally apparently run across one of the agents that's missing, and she manages to get him a message and says, everyone is listening and everyone is watching. You can't leave.
Oh, interesting.
So there you are. And it's being done by M. Night Shyamalan.
Well, that has potential then.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. So those were from Fox. What do we have for NBC sci-fi?
NBC has got Constantine, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because when I've seen the movie and the trailer is not much like it. It is almost to me like Constantine is a Doctor Who character. Because I couldn't tell whether the show was trying to play him serious or trying to play him charming. It was a little confusing, so that could go either way.
Yeah, yeah.
Emerald City is NBC's Once Upon a Time. A girl is trying to find her birth parents and drives into a tornado and ends up in Oz. But it sounds like she's going to be in a battle of kingdoms or something.
It's interesting because I was wondering how long it would take the other networks to kind of jump on that fantasy bandwagon once they saw how successful Once Upon a Time was.
Yeah.
Especially in the retelling of fairy tales and sort of taking old material and making it new again. I'm actually kind of surprised it took this long for somebody else to pick up that concept and to go with it.
Well, I mean, there's Grimm and Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, yeah. So
but
is
those
Sleepy
are
Hollow
weak.
renewed? Or is Sleepy Hollow coming back? I didn't end up watching it, so I watched like the first couple of episodes.
I didn't see it in the list. So
yeah,
I wonder if it got renewed.
I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was renewed, so that was
right.
big.
It should be right here. And who were they with? Can't remember.
I think it's ABC, but I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. So, oh yeah, it did. It got renewed.
Okay.
And Fox.
About that Fox, yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, very, very.
Okay. Well, maybe they're getting their legs. I mean, Grimm did the same thing. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, you guys let us know what you've been looking forward to. Any new shows? I'm sure there are more that's going to be coming out. Let us know which ones you were sad got canceled.
Yeah.
And the ones that what I'd really like to hear is which ones did not get canceled that you're like, what the why is it still
They're
on?
making more of this. I'm actually kind of feeling that way. I don't think that Revenge was canceled, but I'm going to be curious to see how it's continuing on because it's a long time to be seeking revenge against a small group of people.
Yeah. Just like Under the Dome. I couldn't believe Under the Dome was coming back. And
yeah.
I'm just like, I don't get this. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So
anyway.
We'll see.
Well, thanks for listening and be sure and let us know what you wish had gotten canceled. You've been listening to Game On Girl. You can find all our social media connections on our website, gameongirl.com. I'm your co-host, Rhonda Oglesby. You can find me on Tumblr, Instagram, or email me, rhonda@gameongirl.com.
And I'm your host, Regina McMenemy, or Doc Liz with two Z's, as I'm known in various and sundry places around the internet. Just really quickly, Rhonda, what was your beverage for this evening?
I'm having a sea breeze in my gulp cup.
Nice. I like your cup. I have been drinking Elysian Avatar Jasmine IPA, which I must
Mm.
say is absolutely delicious. If you haven't tried it, please do.
It had a beautiful color.
And yeah, beautiful color and a beautiful label. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I love the artwork on these. So
Lovely.
yeah.
And
So
anybody, if Bacardi would like to sponsor us,
we won't turn you away.
mm-mm.
Thanks for listening. Game On Girl is available on iTunes and Stitcher streaming. These links, along with references made in the show, can be found on our website, gameongirl.com. This podcast is edited by Ryan Broom, both the video and audio portions of our show from Desert Tree Media. And the theme song, Good Day by Triple Fox, is used under a Creative Commons Attribution License. Thanks so much for listening, and until next time, game on!